Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I was fortunate enough to be invited to do a podcast discussion with editor, filmmaker and fellow YouTuber Ben Mills. There's a link to his channel up here where you'll find lots of tutorials on filmmaking. In this podcast we discuss mainly how to get ideas for short films. We talk a little bit about editing and other general filmmaking topics. I hope you find that the discussion we had was as interesting as we both thought it was. And we got to get a little bit of insight into how we both look at things within the filmmaking world. So here's the podcast.
I just thought it'd be fun to do a podcast with other people that are doing stuff in the video realm. I've got a few others planned with like some runners that I work with and also some people, some clients as well.
Yeah, it's good to see things from different people's perspectives as well, isn't it? So.
It'd be nice to see, like, because obviously, it's not your full-time job, is it? Doing
No, I've literally just sort of started doing it, at the beginning of this year. So, but yeah, obviously it's something I want to progress and do more of. And I'm assuming that's the same for you, is it? Do you do this sort of part-time?
No, I was, so I've been doing it for about 10, 15 years.
Right, yeah.
The actual filmmaking side of it, but I've never done YouTube or any like tutorials or anything like that before. This is my first kind of since lockdown. I put my first video up like 3 weeks ago.
Oh right, yeah.
And I never thought to do it before. I'd always wanted to, but I'd always made excuses.
Yeah, it's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah, make excuses. So I make films and videos and stuff for people on a daily basis. And then this YouTube thing is separate, like it's like a new thing to me. So I think you're doing it the way I kind of did it your way as well. Though I started making films, but I didn't put them out. So I did it amongst friends, and then learned that way. And then like we'd put them out on comedy channels that we had on YouTube. But I'd never done anything like with my own face on it.
Right.
I've always been behind the camera until recently.
Yeah, I did that out of necessity, really, because I didn't really have anyone to do it with. So I thought, well, I want to make films, so I might as well just get on with it, bit the bullet, and just put them somewhere public, So, but it was a good laugh, and I think my idea really is just to keep doing short films until I get to a point where I've learned enough to do something longer,
Yeah, I mean, the storytelling is the most important thing, I think. I always say, and I think you definitely do this. You don't worry about the equipment being the best equipment. It's get the story out there, do what needs to be done. And a lot of people worry about buying the best cameras to get started, but actually you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it on your phone, can't you? And I think if you want to do something, then it's best just to get on with it. But yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky because I borrowed a camera from my brother. So that sort of made it a bit easier to film stuff, with slightly better equipment. But, if money was unlimited, I'd buy the best camera I could get, So, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start. I think I started with like a 600D or 550D was the first camera I bought. Yeah. And I remember it was just like, oh, this is amazing. Look how good it looks. And then I look back at the footage now. Some of it's still good, like the stuff that was actually exposed correctly and in focus. But some of it is terrible. Like it's all noisy. Whack the ISO up and
that's because that's what I thought. Oh, right, just make it as bright as possible. But it's like if it's too bright, it's really hard in editing, isn't it, to get it to look all right? So. I kind of learned it's better to film it a little bit darker for editing purposes, but it's all a learning process.
Yeah, it's always better to have more color information than more brightness because you can brighten it in post.
Yeah.
So how are you finding carry on?
So I was saying because you do quite a lot of it, you know quite a lot about the editing side of things. Don't you, from like your Vinci Resolve videos which I've watched because I'm still trying to learn that.
Yeah, I've actually just uploaded a new one that I haven't done description stuff, so that's more on like that what everything does and some pointers. But yeah, the editing's my day to day. That's what I do, like especially at the moment as well because of like being in lockdown. I'm mainly all I'm getting is editing and animation work. So
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so that's what where do you like? Oh, I forgot what I was going to say now.
That's all right.
Um, do you find it hard to edit, or do you find that do you enjoy the editing process?
Yeah, actually, that's my favourite part of it, to be fair, is the editing. But yeah, I don't find it too difficult. I think what I'm struggling with at the moment is my actual hardware. You know what I mean? So I think my CPU is a little bit too underpowered for it, so it's a bit of a struggle. But yeah, I think the hardest thing I find is actually color grading and that side of things. Just
Yeah.
sort of knowing what to look for, really. That's sort of what I struggle with. But the whole process I really enjoyed, like cutting the clips together and doing all that.
No, the editing for me is the most fun bit.
Yeah.
The most stressful bit for me is the filming.
Yeah.
In anything I do to this day,
Mm.
like what, 15 years in, film
Yeah.
production shoot day for me is stressful. I worry
Yeah.
constantly about it being right, you know. And it's
Mm.
okay if you can go back and film it again, but if it's like you do it, it's kind of like a one and done thing normally with
Yeah. Yeah.
something. So like, okay, if it doesn't look good today, what do we do?
Mm.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, that's it.
the edit bits where you can have the most fun because you know it's done, it's all there, and you can tell your story again. I think it's
Yeah.
they say it's you write 3 times. You write the script, you write on the shoot, and then you write in the edit.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with that because obviously you can write it as detailed as you like and all that, but when you actually come to filming nothing is really how you imagine it to be. So you have to really think on the fly anyway. But like you said about you can always reshoot it, but you don't always have time to do that, and you don't always want to do that, do you? You know, you want to just get it done. But yeah, I think like as far as the idea is concerned, as long as you've got a good sort of format of what you want to film, and then things like camera angles and stuff like that, I just sort of do on the fly while I'm thinking about
Yeah,
it, you know.
I try and
So
overshoot as well.
yeah, yeah,
Just like I'll get every single angle, and then I've got a
yeah.
safety. I
That's
can
it.
do
You got
that again.
options then. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what's your goal? What like from doing these short films? Is it to just to learn and then eventually progress and get go higher with it, and or is
Yeah,
it just to keep
exactly.
making stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that because I was thinking, you know, I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I think the best way to learn is to actually do it. So my idea is just do loads of short films and use that as a way of learning, you know. And then once I feel comfortable enough, and then I try and do something like a feature, you know.
Yeah,
But I think that's probably a bit further down the line. So I'm just going to
yeah,
gradually build up, you know, from doing a couple of minutes to 10 minutes to 30 minutes, doing it
yeah,
that way, I think. And then theoretically speaking, I should then be able to do something longer and something bigger.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the plan.
I've edited a feature before,
Yeah.
and that was a disaster. Oh yeah, it wasn't a
Oh,
great
really?
film. No, I did it as a favor. I
Mm.
edited, and then it just became a disaster. I ended up shooting like a whole new, like 3 or 4 new scenes for it because
Yeah.
the bits out on the script and it didn't make any
Mm.
sense. And then the director producer just went dark on me. Like he's
Right.
disappeared. I still get updates like on Facebook and stuff from like what happening with the film. It never got released. They did
Right. Yeah.
they still use my trailer edit that I did for them. I'm
Mm.
on IMDb as the editor, but I've not seen
Right.
anything of the film. I don't know what
I
happened
was,
to it.
yeah, nothing's actually happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I've
think that
never
happens
got.
sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's when they realise that it's not. You know, people buy the film, or they make a film and then they realise actually it's
Mm.
not that good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it was quite a big production. Like it was done
Mm.
on the cheap, but they had some
Yeah.
really cool shots in there. But the acting wasn't great. The story
Mm.
was. I mean, it was good. It was okay.
Yeah.
And it was fun to do it, to edit a feature. But it is stressful. But I've never done
Yeah. I
anything.
can imagine.
I've never shot
Mm.
anything from like as a short, anything over like 10 minutes. I don't think it's the longest.
Yeah.
I did a whole web series
Mhm.
that's comedy web series that's run and gun. Like we just filmed, we'd go out film for a day,
Yeah.
and then make the story in the edit
Right. I
rather
see.
than
Yeah. So yeah, you do it the
yeah,
other way round.
yeah. So we'd have a basic premise what we needed to achieve. We'd get some actors in
Mm.
and just go and film for a day, and then next week would do the same again, maybe different actors with the same main character, and then I think it ended up being like a 7-part series.
Yeah.
And we started doing a second season, and Mike, who is the lead actor, he just got disinterested with it. I think he'd exhausted the character.
I think that's probably a good method, because you never know what you're going to get out of that, do you? And then it's just using your creativity to mix it together into a story. I think, sometimes it's probably a good way of doing it, especially if you're stuck for ideas. I think it's easy to get stuck for ideas, and that's sort of what I've been sort of trying to do on my YouTube channel. I've just started a series of explaining how to come up with ideas when you can't, because a lot of the time especially I find that I'll sit down, be like, right, I'm going to write something, and then there's nothing at all, but then I'll go off and do something completely separate and different, and you start getting things coming in, So there's a lot of different ways of doing it, but I quite like that idea of just shooting whatever and then making it into a story.
Yeah, I basically find like someone who's starting off in stand-up comedy or wants to write, or is someone who's naturally funny, and then let them go wild, and then you go, okay, because something can come from the first 10 minutes. You go, oh, we should do this. We could get him over here and saying this, and then I think that's how they make Curb Your Enthusiasm, the TV series.
Right.
They have where they need to get throughout the whole episode, but they don't script any of it. They just go, right, you need to, by the end of the scene, you need to have done this to get to the next scene, and which is quite an interesting way of doing it. But that's just letting people go free and do what they want, which is quite interesting. But I also like the idea of, like, with my YouTube stuff, I script it all. It's all written out. I don't think ad-libbing for me is not. It's not. I don't feel comfortable ad-libbing, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because I'll just mumble and
you need a strict format.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to have it all planned out. I mean, when I do my YouTube videos, I sort of just sort of bullet point it, if you know what I mean, and then go from there. Because I think if I write every sentence out, I'm not sure if I could. I'd struggle with that, I think,
Yeah, you can tell when I've done when I've written, like, struggled with a sentence, because it'll be like quick crash zoom into me saying it, finishing so I just cut it back together.
I mean, sometimes I'll just say the same sentence over and over again, and I'm like, no, and then I'll forget, and then I get frustrated, and I'm like, right, start again. You know what I mean? It takes me ages to actually get it, coherent.
Yeah, that's
But I find that once you start warming up into it, then it's a bit easier. And like you said, the editing side, you just cut out all the stuff that's useless, which for me is like about 90% of it.
Yeah, I think the piece of camera clip from my Da Vinci episode that I've just finished, I think it was like 45 minutes long, and the video is 8 minutes long.
Yeah, sounds right.
It's just like half an hour of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the editing's where the magic happens, isn't it? It's like, you make that illusion that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, just cut out all the crap. So what made you decide that you wanted to start making films? When was that decision made?
Yeah, well, I've always wanted to make a film, you know what I mean? I think everyone's always got that in them. And I always sort of played around with writing sort of stories and scripts and things, but I didn't really do anything with them. And then my brother got into photography. He's been doing that for a few years. And then one day he just said, I think we should make a short film. I was like, yep, totally down with that. And that was back in December. And we were like, yeah, well, what we'll do something. So we just got together and made our first one, which is only like a minute and a half. And and went from there. But then obviously we were going to do a follow-up film, something different. But then this COVID-19 thing happened, and we couldn't actually get together to do it. So I ended up just doing ones on my own, and he sort of carried on with his photography. And then, but yeah, once I filmed that first one, I thought, yeah, this is definitely something I want to do. And yeah, it just went from there really. So it's just something that I've always wanted to do, but never really had the balls to go and do it, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely like this. You could say a lot about this lockdown being a bit of a nightmare, but I think it's inspired a lot of
Yeah,
people
definitely.
to step outside their comfort zone and try
Hmm.
new things, be it try
Yeah,
new things in their house, but
yeah,
like to kind of I think you have to be pushed to your limit of boredom to actually go, you know what, there
yeah,
is things I need to do out there.
yeah,
There's things I've always
yeah,
wanted to try and do. And yeah, like I've like learned so much guitar in the last
yeah, have you?
like
Yeah.
just like there's so many things I've learned like sitting around like when
Mm,
the first 3 weeks like work dried up completely and I was
yeah,
like, oh right, okay. And then I think by the end of week 2 I'd started the YouTube channel or I'd
mm,
started writing what I was going to do and thinking about the ideas, and week 3 I
yeah,
filmed it, and then week 4 I got like, I love this, I'm going to do this all the
yeah,
time. And then by week 5 I was really busy with work, and now I'm just like trying to squeeze in these filming these
yeah.
things in between other things. I've got a call in half an hour about another
Right.
project. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, it's good, but like actually I'm into this now. This is what I
Yeah,
want to
you
do. I
want
want
to do
to do
your
this.
thing now. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to make other
Yeah.
people's work. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then it's also I want to reach out, and I think I've got a lot of like knowledge, and I feel like when I was starting out, there was only a little bit of knowledge out on the internet for people to kind of pick stuff up,
Yeah.
and now there's loads. But
Yeah.
I think I could. There's something out there I can give back, if that makes
Mm.
sense. Like not to
Yeah.
feel like some kind of like
Mm.
weirdo, but it'd be nice. I think it's quite nice. I quite like telling people how to do or what you
Yeah.
can do in that, and it's good, and it's nice to hear people doing what I did, like you're
Mm.
doing what I did when I
Yeah.
was like 23,
Mm.
just starting it and going, you know what, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some films. And then
Yeah. That's it.
eventually like it does work out, because people will go, oh, that's really cool. You'll build a portfolio that you can go, look, I've
Mm.
made these, they're not great, but like work with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the kind of angle I'm going for. Just trying to get as much done as I can. Um, while I'm in a position where I can do it. Because obviously, once all this finishes, I'll be going back to a normal job, and I'll have less time. So I'm trying to just get as much done as I can.
Yeah, smash through
You
it.
know.
What do you do
Mm.
normally as a job?
I'll normally work at the airport doing like baggage handling and that's,
Right.
that sort of thing. So, but I'm always trying to find other things to do.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see what
Yeah.
happens once
It's a
it's
shit.
all over.
Yeah. What airport's that? Stansted or?
Stansted, yeah, yeah. So,
Um.
but yeah, until the flights come back.
Yeah. But that's it's a shame, because there's probably not a lot you can't probably film back there, but there's probably loads
Nah,
of things. There's probably loads of things that you could film that would be really
yeah,
interesting. But then
yeah, because
I get, is there characters at work and stuff that you can?
oh yeah, there's lots of because there's so many, such a variety of people that work there, from all different backgrounds. So yeah, there's lots of character ideas that I've got in my
Yeah.
head, that's for sure.
There's probably a lot of them that would happily be on camera as well. I bet.
Yeah, yeah, I've had
Yeah.
a lot of interest, people saying, because it's funny how when you start doing this and you start telling people, most people are like, oh, I've always wanted to be in a film, or oh, I've got some film ideas, or this, that, and the other, and you think like it's brilliant because all of a sudden everyone comes out and says, yeah, I'm up for it. When you do
Yeah.
something, let me know. Which you
Yeah.
couldn't ask for anything more than that.
Yeah, I got told when I first started, it's like, don't use your friends as actors. I'm like,
Mm,
why? Like, I'm not gonna be able
yeah,
to find actors anywhere else, and they might want to do
yeah,
it. Like, look at Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes. Like, Jason
mm,
Mewes wasn't an actor, and now
right,
he is Jay and Silent Bob. They are saying Jay and Silent Bob, aren't they?
mm,
They all
yeah,
Kevin Smith used all his friends in his like first
mm.
film, Clerks, apart from like 2 actors, and
Oh,
then
right, okay,
like
yeah,
now, like it's like they're all famous actors because of it.
yeah. Well, there's a
So,
lot of people like that, isn't it? Like Simon Pegg and all that lot. I
yeah,
think they were all kind of friends, before
yeah,
they did filming and But I think it's got to be the best place to start because, you know, unless you've got loads of money and you can go and hire loads of actors, when you're starting out, you can't really justify
Plus,
spending that money, you know?
even if you could afford to hire those actors, I mean, there probably are, there's definitely some actors that will just do anything because, but you're not going to get the best actors even if you have got the money, because they're not going to go, oh, I'm just going to go to this unknown guy who's never done anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they are going to do that, they're not good actors, or they're potentially complete mentalists.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I've done.
Yeah, it's a risk, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a risk for both sides. So I mean, using your friends, at least you know you can tell them that they're not doing a good job. You can go, that's rubbish, do it again. Like, but with an actor, like, oh, I don't know whether to offend them. But if I'm going to offend them, they might know more than me. So
yeah, because you've already got that relationship and that rapport, haven't you? So you know how to communicate with them.
And they know what they're getting into as well. They know that this is just like a bit of fun, you know. And if they don't like it, they can just walk away and go, "So it's not for me."
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas if you've got an actor, you kind of just stuck with them because you've paid them, and they're stuck with you because you've paid them. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, that's how you just.
But it's such a good sort of world to be involved in, you know. I want to take it further. So, but you know, when you get to a point where you're like, right, I want to know what I'm doing, because I think I've done 4 short films now, and I still, you know, don't really know what I'm doing, but I've got a better idea than I had when I did my first one, you know. So, you know, the process is working.
Yeah, I still don't know what I'm doing, really.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to like the actual shoot of things, I always just go by what looks good. Like, I don't ever think, oh, I've done this for this reason. I've gone, I know what I'm doing. I know what to do.
Yeah.
But actually, when it comes down to it, I'm only doing it because this looks good. I'm not doing it because of any other reason.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's just keep. That's definitely the way to do it. Just keep doing it. Like keep hitting it, and then you'll learn stuff. You'll pick stuff up, especially with the post production stuff. Like you'll go, oh, I really want to like have someone like jumping out of a window. How can I do that?
Yeah.
And you'll work it out. And there's definitely a YouTube video for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, in one of my films, I did like a thing where the character's eyes went black. You know what I mean? And I just thought that might be cool. And then I just basically searched on YouTube how to make someone's eyes go black, and then I did it. So I was like, that's one thing I know how to do. It's only a small thing, but it's a start, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, but that skill of like obviously like keyframing and masking to do those eye things, you now can do that. You can go, oh, I can make someone's teeth go black now, or I can add something to their hair or change their hair color. You know, it all transfers. So you'll learn one thing, but that will make it easier the next time you do like something that's along those lines. But there's difference. Did you do that in After Effects or DaVinci Resolve?
DaVinci Resolve.
Oh, see, I've never done that in DaVinci Resolve, so you know more about that than me.
Yeah.
In DaVinci.
I think the process is probably the same, you know.
It's all nodes instead of layers. That's all.
That's it. Yeah.
But that's my next job is to start learning some more of that fusion, because it is really good. Like the green screen and stuff like that's brilliant.
Yeah, I managed to do the green screen all right. I think I got rid of most of the overspill, you know. But yeah, because I want to try and incorporate a green screen into my next short film somehow. So you know, I've got to
get loads of lights.
that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and I definitely need more lights.
I get the LED panels off Amazon. They're cheap, but if you're desperate, just get them. I had them. I've still got them actually. They're piled up over there. I just kept them, and like every time I upgrade, instead of like selling all my lights, I just keep my lights. You get as many lights as you can,
because it's just you can never have too many, can you?
It's just good to have them. Like I've got 2 lights on me now, but 3 lights on me now, but I've got 6 more set up around me.
Yeah.
it's
Jesus. Yeah.
But that's purely because I've got them. Like it's overkill. Like and like you still like even on your screen now, you're lit well, so it's not like I don't need these. It's just for dramatic effect.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm right next to a window, so you know what I mean. At this time of day, it's fine.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. So where else are you getting your like not inspiration, but from like your knowledge from? Where are you just mainly using YouTube and?
Yeah, pretty much YouTube, you know, that's it, and practicing. So I'm like, I'll see something, or I'll watch loads of films, obviously, and I'll see something in a film, and I think, oh, I wonder how I could do that, you know, how I can minimize what they're doing and do it in my house, you know.
Yeah,
So then I'll just get my camera and just try out a few things and see what happens. So really, anything that I need to learn, I find on YouTube, and anything I want to try out, I'll watch films to find
yeah,
things, you know. So,
yeah. Have you
you
thought
know,
about recreating any scenes from films, or is that you
um,
doing that with different dialogue?
yeah, I haven't actually thought of doing that. I mean, I thought of using ideas into what I'm doing, but to actually recreate something, I think that might be quite an interesting little experiment, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I always wanted to do that, but then it's just finding
Mm.
someone that's willing to do it. And then I
Yeah,
really
that's
do
it.
not like being on camera. Like I
No.
don't mind talking on camera and doing like the tutorials, but acting
Yeah.
is not for me. Like
Ah, acting is so cringe,
it
like,
is the
literally,
cringiest
you know.
thing
But
because you know you're
I,
doing it. That's why. If
yeah,
you did,
that's it.
like, I
Yeah,
think
you know
it's
you're
a
pretending. But I
yeah,
think
I can't do it.
because I didn't do much, I haven't done much acting on my things, but the little parts that I have done were really sort of, I just had to get over that cringy feeling. Just go, right, just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it.
Yeah, I don't mind
And
giving
you know,
information, but like as soon
yeah,
as I got to like play a role, I'm like, oh
mm,
god, don't want to
yeah,
do this.
yeah. I think you have to kind of switch something in your brain and just to ignore everything else, because you know, even though on one of them it was just me and my missus, we were just filming one of the films, and even acting in front of her was like really embarrassing, even though I'm always just pretending, doing voices and stuff generally. But as
Yeah.
soon as that camera is on you,
Yeah,
that's it,
but
everything goes to
it
pot.
makes as soon as it's recorded, it's over. What's next then? What's your next project that you're gonna?
Okay, so my actual next filming project, I'm gonna do another short film, obviously, and this one's gonna be about like a ghost sort of story, you know, about a
Cool.
spirit that's in love with the person he's haunting. And you know, there's going to be like some kind of paranormal investigator type thing, you know, bit tongue in cheek, bit
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be a bit funny, but we'll
Oh, I love
see.
it.
That's the next plan anyway. So I've written it, I've written most of it out. I've just got to the point now where I've got to convert it into a script. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're getting there. Hopefully by next week I'll be able to start filming that one. I keep
Yeah.
sort of putting it back 'cause I keep getting distracted. I'm thinking, right, I've got to do another YouTube tutorial as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the next
No,
one is how to. Sorry.
no, as I
Yeah,
say, I
the
really
next.
like that idea. It's
Yeah, the
cool.
next one's how to get your idea and turn it into a script. So that's the next video as well. So a couple of things going on.
Yeah.
How about yourself? What have you got lined up?
I've got a. I see. I'm trying to get away from these tutorials on like technical
Hmm.
tutorials, and I want to start doing like you're doing, like the more how to
Yeah.
get an idea, turn it into a script, turn it into a
Mm.
storyboard, then
Yeah.
put it into production. And
Hmm.
I'm struggling because I haven't got that, and I haven't got that script yet. I haven't got that
Right.
idea, and
Mm.
I really don't want to be in front of the camera. So
Right.
for that, so I want to wait till after, or at least start thinking about filming it after lockdown.
Yeah,
So
so you
I
can at
might,
least get someone else, yeah,
yeah.
to
So I
act.
think so. This is why, yeah, I'm trying to work out that. I think I want to do a short.
Mm.
I want to do a series of this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it, and then do an episode. So put out the whole thing as like a
Mm.
this is what I'm setting myself this challenge, or I'm setting
Yeah.
the tone of what it's going to be, and then it'd
Mm.
be like week one scripting,
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
storyboard, and then I think I'd then do like we're doing now, have a
Mm.
conversation with either the person I'm really working with,
Yeah.
like be it the script writer or the storyboarder
Mm.
or the the a runner, someone like so
Yeah,
people
yeah.
involved in it, and then progress that.
Mm.
But it's quite a lot of work Like that is
Yeah, it is.
that's a
Yeah.
big that's a full-time project, that.
Yeah. And it is
So
quite a big commitment because you're telling everyone, right, I'm going to do this.
you have
And
to do
then,
it.
because I've sort of done that, yeah, I've put myself, because I've said on one of my videos that I'm going to do a video showing how to get an idea, how to turn it into a script, and then how to actually film it. So I'm going to do a video on me actually setting up the camera and doing all that.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see how that turns out. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel like
Mm.
I'm already at the point now where I need another person to help,
Yeah, yeah,
because my ideas, whatever I'm doing, my ideas always go from 0 to 1,000, like straight
yeah,
away.
yeah,
Like I quite, it's like ambition. My ambition always outweighs my not
yeah,
my skill, but my what I've got at my disposal. So
yeah.
I've got the ambition to do stuff, but I haven't got like
Mm.
enough hands to do it all.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, especially with ideas, because it's easy to think of big ideas, that would involve loads of props and money and all that. The hardest thing is trying to find something really simple
Yeah.
that you don't need a lot of stuff, and that's where you really have to think of something. I don't know, it's quite hard
Yeah.
to do,
That's why I
but
really
you
like
got
that video of you and your wife talking about the
yeah, the
oh,
isolation one.
we'll do it tomorrow. Like I really
Yeah,
like that,
that's
because
it.
it was just really simple, just a conversation between two
Yeah,
people with a really good payoff at the end.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that just sort of come up because that is that's pretty much like a real life representation of what we're like. I might as well have just set the camera up and filmed our normal day,
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, we're going to do this." But yeah, and I think it's trying to find simple ideas. Um,
yeah,
and I mean, sometimes the idea will just come into your head, without you even thinking about it. You're just like, "Oh, hang on, that might work." But normally it's just fragments of ideas. It'll be like, "Oh, what if this happened, or what if that?" It would just be a small thing, and then you need to then develop it from there. So I think sometimes people think that an idea, they'll be like, right, I've got a whole story idea in my head now all at once, but it don't really, for me, it doesn't really work like that. It will just be little pieces that I'll end up putting together.
yeah. I
So,
totally get that. It's like,
mm,
yeah, you go, okay, well, this could, like, it's set in this thing, and
yeah,
then you're like, okay, then what happens? So and
mm,
you put kind of
yeah,
modular bits into it.
mm,
I like that.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Yeah, I'm good if someone like goes, oh, I need to do this. If someone gives me a brief, I can answer the
mm,
brief.
yeah,
That's my day to day. I can answer a brief,
mm,
but it's there's no brief here. It's just me going, I need an
no,
idea.
yeah,
Right,
yeah. And the
okay.
thing is, you can do whatever you want as well, which, like you say, if someone said to you, right, you should write a drama,
Yeah,
already you've narrowed that down. So you're like, right, I'm
yeah,
doing a drama. Whereas if you're like, you've got free reign to do whatever you want,
yeah,
it's like overwhelming because you can think, oh, do I do a horror or a sci-fi
yeah,
or this or that? And whereas if someone says, right, do this, this, and this, then it makes it like, so in one of my videos, I've sort of advised people to split it into three things, like what people you've got available, what locations you've got, and then some kind of interesting prop,
yeah,
and then base a story around that. So that kind of channels it a little bit
yeah.
into something specific, and
Yeah.
then it's
So it's just
easier to
you
find
and
an
your
idea.
missus in your house,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
for the
and
foreseeable future. That's the
that's
only
it.
ideas
That's
you
it.
can have.
Yeah, that's it. So that's it. Now I've just got to think of imaginative ways. So we've got like one of these old-fashioned telephone things, upstairs somewhere. So I'm going to do a story based around that. And I think sometimes that's good just to get, like in my first one that me and my brother did, I just used my vape. We're like, that's all we had. Like, let's use a vape. So we thought, well, you press the button and something else happens. And then we decided it would duplicate it. So I
Yeah,
think that's. But there's so many different ways.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, on one of my videos, yeah, on how to come up with an idea, I'll talk about a few different methods of how to generate ideas. So,
yeah.
it's a few different ways.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've got one idea that I could probably film right now, and that's a horror, it's like a
Yeah.
horror, but it ends it's like a comedy ending to it.
Yeah, nice. Like
Yeah,
comedy horror.
yeah. I don't know if I want to give it away just in case they do make it, and it would be like, oh, I know
Yeah,
what's going to
yeah,
happen now.
yeah. That's
But
it.
it's a horror that I could definitely film like here. But maybe
Yeah.
I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I should do that
Yeah,
because
you should definitely do that. Yeah.
I've done one. I've not done the short film bit yet, and I think that's what's
Yeah.
missing. What I'm missing out is I'm not actually creating anything on this channel. I'm just doing tutorials, and
Yeah.
it's like there's no like, oh, he's done that, and then like, yeah. So yeah, you inspired me. We had
That's
like
it.
you
You should
like
definitely do that. Yeah, because
I'll
even if you
maybe
just do like a 1 minute film, like it's
yeah, it would
something.
be 45 seconds, I think, and maybe a minute.
Yeah,
Like, would drag out to a minute, but
yeah,
yeah, maybe I should do that. I think that might be my task for next week, as we're probably still going to
yeah,
be here till July. So
yeah. Exactly. It's going to be a while.
yeah,
So yeah, your mission is to make a short film.
yeah. No, I'm taking your mission.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what your mission is. Your mission is to carry on.
My mission, yeah, keep going.
Keep going.
Stop procrastinating. But it was good doing this this sort of podcast thing. I quite enjoyed that. We'll have to try and think of another, like maybe another part of this. You know,
Yeah,
maybe
it'd be good to
something
do like something that, as we progress, if we're doing these like every month or every week or something, just chatting and going through it. I've always wanted to do one, so it's finding an excuse to do it, find someone that's willing to do it. And if this one comes out, I mean, it's going to be interesting for me to listen back to. So we can
exactly.
I'll sync it all up, do a little edit, and
see what it comes out like.
There you go. I hope you enjoyed the podcast discussion as much as we both did. Ben's going to be doing more podcasts with other people in the filmmaking world, so make sure you keep your eyes open for that. And thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you next time.